Okay, we're here. All right. So we're trying out something new. I got this little Osmo camera. So it's like a little robot that follows me.
Why are you holding the mic?
Huh?
Why are you holding the mic?
Because I have the mic on a charger because Wendy doesn't know how to charge anything back.
Fair point. Okay.
Well, we charge everything except for the microphones. Oh boy, what a trip so far. So we're in Maryland right now, and if you can't tell by this, it's disgusting cold and rainy. But we're gonna do this rolling down the interstate because we are still what? How many hours are we out from Rochester? We don't know. A lot. Probably like 5 more hours till we get to Rochester. We got a lot of cars to do there. Going from Rochester down to Philly. We're going to fly back to Puerto Rico. We have a race in Puerto Rico on the 31st. We fly back to Philly on the 2nd and continue this trip. So we'll probably be on the road for at least the next month or so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anywho, we had some pretty cool podcast stuff. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a couple different things that I wanted to go over. Also, we're considering a different name for the podcast. Rebranding. Mostly because I like the tuning business, being its own thing. And I like this being its own thing. And it's kind of become, I wouldn't say like a movement, but like it's definitely been helping and getting a lot of people united. And I don't want everybody to think that just to help out, they have to, run under my tuning brand. I'd like them to actually feel like they can be part of a bigger thing, right? Something like that.
Like a community.
Yeah, like a community. So a little later, further on this, I'll go ahead and we'll kind of discuss a name, and you guys can give me some ideas of what you think. And like I said, we'll go from there. But I'm gonna get to questions here in a minute. I'm gonna get through a couple little things. I had it written down. Let me make sure I still have my notes. Just some things we wanted to really talk about. So I guess the main thing we want to start with is the road trip and what we're doing while we're on the road. My tuning schedule is still active. It has been booked up, but this is typical for spring. Springtime, we usually book pretty heavy. We don't usually do a tour on the road while we're booked heavy, but I've been blocking off certain days to make sure that my on the road stuff doesn't alter or affect my, regular scheduled tuning. And just working extra insane hours because, that's just how it works. Anyways, so right now, like I said, we're on our way to Rochester. We're probably a few hours out of there. We're going to stay there until the 25th. Once we get done with those guys, we're going to shoot all the way down to Philly, go to Puerto Rico for a week, come back to the cold, and then we are planning our route back through Rochester, through Buffalo into Canada. So there's actually a few people in Canada we're going to stop and see. We'll do some filming. If you watch our daily videos, you'll be able to see that as well. What?
You wobbled, but it didn't.
Yeah, it's also on like a Move Max arm. So that way we're not bouncing all around of it. But anyways, there's a couple shops in Canada that we're going to go see.
Safety first.
I gotta put my safety belt on. Sorry. All right. So from Canada, we're going down into Detroit. From Detroit, we're going to go over to Chicago, and then down to Indianapolis. We're going to hit Nashville, and work our way back through Dallas and into Houston. If you're in that area or something like that, speak up ahead of time. Please say something. I've had like 3 people so far be like, "Oh man, if I would have known." Well, if you look on Facebook or Instagram, we're posting it every day, where we're at, where we're going to be, what we're doing. I mean, we're stopping to meet with certain people. We're filming a lot of this stuff so you guys can kind of see it as we go along. Having lunch with people. We filmed some, as you probably already seen, if you follow our stuff, we filmed some pretty good podcasts. We did one with Brett Craig Performance, and I finally tracked down Rick Crawford after like 6 months of trying.
The whole time.
But I'll tell you, every bit of that 6 months was worth it. And the amount of info that's going to be on that podcast, if Wendy goes, because it's been green for 30 minutes.
Sorry, I was looking at all the other stuff.
The amount of info that's on that podcast is unbelievable. It's going to help a lot of people if they decide to listen. But, people are naturally kind of dumb. so they won't always listen. All right, so going off of that, road trip aside, make sure to hit us up. Make sure to let us know what you're doing. Now to the name thing. So we were thinking about trying to make this kind of more,
Brandable.
I hate to say the word inclusive, right? Because
It's not inclusive. It's brandable.
brandable, I guess, right? We want to make merch for it, as who wouldn't, right? That'll help fund more trips to more places and more things to film and more people to talk to. So the name that we've kind of come up with was, what was
I
it?
don't even remember.
Full Send Syndicate. So mainly because, you know, we're kind of going in at this with the full send deal, right? We're definitely spending our time. We're making sure we have the right cameras, the right stuff. We're putting our time in to go different places, film different things, and try to bring information to you guys that nobody else is going to bring. Because, hello, thank you.
That'll make it a little better for you.
It has great low-level lighting. Anyways, basically, we're going all in. We're going to be filming everywhere. We're going to stay on the road for weeks at a time, months at a time sometimes, so we can hit everybody. It's not only just for the tuning, but for the podcast stuff. We're filming podcasts as we can. We've redone our setup, I guess you would say,
Yeah.
to include 3 of these Osmo Pocket cameras, which is what we're on right now, and it seems to do really well. We filmed 2 podcasts with them so far, and I haven't edited it out, but it looks pretty good. One of them, the angle actually looked pretty fat, but that's Wendy's fault.
No, that's Rick's fault for the couch I'll have to sit on.
Oh, Rick's casting couch, his garage couch. Anyways, so the syndicate, basically a syndicate is a group of people looking, you know, for a common deal. So let me know what you guys think of that. Full Send Syndicate. That's what we're thinking about, changing the name of the podcast to. That way it has its own thing, its own vibe. And I think it fits with what we're trying to do.
Why don't you buy it?
Why don't you buy an RV? Because we already have a 5th wheel. And we lived in one for 3 years, and we don't want to do that anymore. I'd rather live in this SUV.
We have a big Escalade.
Plus, we like hotels. And we have a really big Escalade that we're in. So anyways, tell me what you guys think of that. We'll do some Q&A as well. But some things that we wanted to kind of talk about, new things to HP tuners. If you're in our members area, if you're not part of our members area, you won't see it. I'm going to start making a lot more members videos. I've already done quite a few that have been really beneficial. So to the few members that we already have, they've been able to get things out of it. We're going to be making a lot more members videos. So if you're not part of that, make sure you join. Also, when the podcast drop, they will probably have a lead time of, I think, 4 to 5 days, maybe less.
Yeah.
Where the members will be able to see the podcast first. He's roaring. I think it's 2 to 3 days. So the members, if you're part of our membership club, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. I want to work on getting a thing to kind of, you know, thank you guys and show off. I did do the custom badge thing, so anybody with a cool custom badge, you know that they're part of our deal. But anyways, I'll do a lot more of those members only videos. But one of them was speaking about HP Tuners, a new channel. So I was on Facebook and somebody was talking about their oil pressure at idle, and they were having issues. A lot of these cars, you know, they'll drop the oil pressure pretty low, 20, 22, 29. We do have the ability to alter oil pressure, so we can set it a little higher around idle. If wide open, you're only getting 45, 50. On a couple cars we've already tested, been able to get, you know, 60, 65 psi oil pressure. The main advantage of that, I see the screen. Okay. Sorry, we're running off Starlink in a rainstorm. So, but anyways, with that oil pressure, essentially the way I look at it is if we're starting to make peak power, peak torque down there at like 3,500 RPM, the doesn't actually go wide open until 5750, which, you know, 5750 is kind of crazy when you're spending all that time with a much lower oil pressure. Once we modify this table, I usually set it around 3,000 RPM. I was looking at it to come in full around 3,000, 3,500. I can also alter it by torque, and that helps us make sure that we have the pressure that we need when we need it before anything happens to the bearings or anything like that. Some of the other tables, there's a lot more throttle modeling, which will help get the pedal a lot more linear. It's mostly useful on the trucks and things like that, but I'm going to play with that a little more. We've got some more to go on that. But there's quite a bit that's coming out. There's so many guys that are looking into like different XDFs, different things that we can modify, limits that we were never able to get past. We're starting to get past. In one of the podcasts, there's a table that is utilized that I've used a similar version of it for quite a while. And it's really helped us keep things alive and go faster than the average. You'll have to wait for the podcast to find that. But if you do watch our stuff, you will see it. And in our daily videos, we always add some kind of extra information. But anyways, lots of stuff to come from that. What else were we thinking? Things that we wanted to speak about before we get into the Q&A, because I want to make sure we cover everything. Then we'll do Q&A, kind of get you guys going through. So we got the name, Full Send Syndicate. Let me know if that's what you guys think. If you guys, yes or no. Don't feel bad. Give me a yes or no. I don't mind. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, switch over to YouTube if you have any questions. If you're not following us, follow us. Thank you, Ulysses, for the donation. I appreciate that, man. And I told you I'll get you after this, I promise. Even though you got me in trouble. Anyways, so yeah, Facebook or Instagram, move over to YouTube, put your questions in the comments. We'll go through some Q&A, and I'll stay on there and go through the questions as long as we need, because we've got 4.5 hours till Rochester anyways. All right, so name change, move over, like, subscribe. We've been growing. I've been surprised. It's not bad. We broke the 2,000 barrier, so that was pretty cool, and I'm grateful for that. But mostly when I'm at the track, we just did bragging rights, and if you guys didn't see the videos from bragging rights, it was pretty wicked. Japan was a little more wicked. We have a lot of videos from Japan. A lot of the Daikoku car meet, I think, is coming up.
I have a lot of footage from there.
If you don't know what the Daikoku car meet is, you need to look it up. The video of it, which is like any person that likes 90s era JDM cars is going to be in heaven. But we had a blast in Japan. It was pretty amazing. I'm definitely going to go back. Highly recommend if you haven't been. Fly out of Houston. It is literally $650 round trip. Can't really argue with that. $70 for a hotel.
Yeah, food is cheap.
People everything.
Nice, quiet.
But to go back to Streetcar Bragging Rights, we had a customer there with Lori. She was kicking everybody's ass in her truck. Pretty heavy truck with a little set of small turbos on it. She went 10-0 at 139. So we were working on getting out the hole, but we didn't realize it. So she'll definitely be in the 9s the next time. But she was kicking some ass with that truck. And then she treated the last guy so bad, I almost lost my bet, which I know not to bet against customers. I was just trying to make $1.
Why would you do that?
Trying to make $1. I like
Never
friends. I'm
friends.
friendly, but I like money too. But anyway, Streetcar Bragging Rights, if you haven't been to that, when it comes around next year, make sure you go. It was really cool. We got to meet a bunch of people, put names to faces to names.
Nice to see our hard work come to fruition. People telling us they see the channel and they really enjoy it.
Right, yeah, that was the big thing is, besides this growing and the donations and the memberships and you guys supporting us, the amount of people that came up to us and were like, man, I appreciate what you're doing. Tuners coming up to us, I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for all the help. Regular people that just love the channel. This is for you. We appreciate it. We love doing it. I don't really care for the daily videos that much because Wendy's always in my face. But
I like it. People
but they're getting better. But yeah, I guess because people get to kind of see the crazy life we do live. We are on the road pretty consistently. But it's what we love doing. We like being there when the customer gets to drive their car and, hey bro, calm down. Sorry. got to deal with it. Baby's with us. But anyways, yeah, getting to meet people and then seeing them kind of fall back in love with their car is really awesome too. So we did a tune for a guy that was running 1030s, 1020s. They were having a lot of trouble with getting the car to run the number they wanted. He had asked me for some pointers. I was like, man, I see about half a second left in it at least. So we street tuned it and we picked up half a second and 10 mile an hour. So those times were really cool, which we made a whole new group of friends in that aspect. And this little camera arm is really helping because the camera's shaking like crazy and you can barely tell. That's wild. Anyways, cool. Moving on from that. I think that pretty much covers it. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Make sure you just tell somebody about the page. The other thing is in the comments, especially like for the members only videos, what are the things that you guys want videos made on? Because I'm trying to just kind of come up with what I think is pretty cool info that I would normally not just share. So if you have specific things that you want videos made on, let me know. That way I can kind of work it into the program, right? And we're going to be out here dealing with a lot of cars, so
how-to.
More than likely, yeah, like how-to things and really anything. Just let me know in the comments. That way I can at least, write this down, put it in my notes, and start working on getting a video of it. We got another donation from Jax. Thank you, man. Are you getting on a dyno? If it's still raining up here, weather sucks. Where do you put the pressure sensor for the meth speed hunt gauge? Shoot me a message after this, Jax. I'll go ahead and I'll work with you on that meth deal. But we do have a dyno lined up. I don't know if there's extra room or not. If not, I am coming back to Rochester in a week. So we're going to do what we can here until the 25th. Then we've got to head on down to Philly so we can make it back to Puerto Rico and then back. We're going to come back around. All right. Sorry. Kind of razzled.
It's a lot for you.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. If you can't really tell, but there is.
ADHD is getting you, huh?
My A to D to D.
Yeah.
But anyways, all right. So like, subscribe, share. Page is growing. Love it. Let's start moving into some of the Q&A. If you guys are on Facebook or Instagram, move over. That way you can put your comments on YouTube. It is the only place I see the comments. I cannot see Instagram. I cannot see Facebook.
So you don't miss the comments.
I'm just, in here because, so you guys know to come. All right, so let me go through some of the comments. But like I said, give me some opinions. What do you guys think about the name? Full Send Syndicate. That's what I think that's what we've kind of settled on. But I want to know what you guys think.
Tell them why. I feel like you're more relatable, and like you'd want to wear that more than someone else's name.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is there's a lot of people that are in here that I don't tune for. And again, if you haven't heard me speak about it, I am a proponent of you being happy or comfortable with your tuner. If you're already comfortable with a tuner, as much as we'd love your business, I don't want you to feel like you have to be tuned by us to be a part of this group, right? And if you're tuned by somebody, you're walking around with arm on you, it makes people feel a certain type of way. So I kind of wanted to separate it from just the tuning to where, we have our own little niche group that anybody can join, and it doesn't directly relate to the tuning, but we'll also continue to speak about tuning and things like that. So that's most of the reason for the name change, but I wanted to make sure what you guys thought first. Let's see. Oh yeah, same thing in Jersey, but it beats the heat. Yeah, it got hot the second day. I messed up and decided that I was going to wear pants, and I made it halfway through the day, and I had to go back to the hotel. I couldn't do it. The pants were not working for me. Dallas, I remember we already spoke. I thought so. Hit me up again. We'll discuss it. But yeah, you're already in the plans. Let's see. Can you speak on the flex fuel for C8's Black Wings as far as what all entails? Okay, so yeah, so you've probably seen posts where we were talking about the Global B flex fuel. We tried to work with the others on doing flex fuel, but when you're having to buy, I think the buy-in was like 7 sensors, and it was like, I don't know, like a lot of money. It doesn't really make sense, and I get why they did it, and they need to make the money for their their knowledge, right? I get that. So I made sure that what we did was we didn't utilize any of their product to make our product. So I don't make the flex sensor kits myself. I just don't have the time, nor would I ever be able to keep up. But what I do is if you have a C8 or Blackwing, CT4V, CT5V, you can send us your tune file. We charge a fee to unlock, basically edit the code mod, right? Modify the code to enable the flex fuel function to your tune file, and then we'll send the tune file back to you, and then it'll work just like any other tune. Once you do that the first time, I'll also send you the pin location so you know where to pin it in, how to get your power, how to get your ground, and where to send your signal. And that way you can flex just like all the rest of us. I'll say that flex fueling on the C8 is a good way to drop flex fuel and headers, I would say, is a good way to drop about a full second of ET off of your car. They typically run 11.6s at the track, which is pretty consistent, even with different weather. We've seen as fast as 1070 so far, and that was in not so great weather. So I can imagine some cool weather at 1060, maybe a 1050 if you really launch the shit out of it on a good tire. But yeah, so the flex fuel in itself is a big help, big modification. The Blackwing, same thing. First mod I would do would be tune on flex fuel, because those cars make some pretty crazy power stock. They're really strong. So you add a little bit of octane to them and they are significantly stronger. So process would be you send us your tune file. We'll go ahead and modify the code. You pay the fee. We send it back with the pin location. And then, whether we tune it or somebody else tunes it, it won't matter. The CT5V Blackwing that actually just broke the record that went 9.0 was tuned by Brandon Lieb. If you don't know who that is, the lead tuned. He was on this Alive all back. But we did the code modification for that car, so they would be able to run flex fuel. So I think about covered that. If there's something else you have a question of, Roger, just go ahead and ask me. I'm going to roll to the next one.
Quickly, somebody said they joined late. What's the name change?
The name change that we're thinking of is Full Send Syndicate. Mainly because we're going full send into this. We've done everything we can to make sure we're bringing you the best, and we're driving everywhere that we get the brightest finds possible. I just spoke to a shop in Canada that does some no prep stuff. So they asked if we wanted to sit down and film with them, and I would love to learn more about that. So we're definitely going to do that one.
I enjoy no prep.
So we're going to bring no prep info, but we've got some amazing info coming out. Like I said, we've got the turbo forced inductions. Robert from Forced Inductions will be dropped in the next day or two. We still got Unique Customs coming, Circle D, and then we have Prey Performance and Rick Crawford from Rick Crawford Racing. So we've got a lot coming up. And yeah, Jax, we're coming to Buffalo after though. We're going to go to Rochester now, then fly out of Philly, and then we're going to come back through Rochester and go to Buffalo. So we can go to Canada. And Wendy wants to stay on the other side, on the Canadian side. So that's what we're going to do. Flixar, you came in clutch down my car on Friday. Much thanks. Can't wait to see both podcasts. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And like I said, that's what we love doing. We like being on the road, getting to meet people. Remote tuning is good. It's arguably just as good, but it's a little different when you get to kind of hang out. We get to go ride in the car together, play with some things, customize a few things. It just adds a little something extra to it. Dallas, thank you for the donation, man. I really appreciate it. If you have any of the donations, we really appreciate, because if you've never traveled and you never stayed at hotels, this is not cheap. Everyone's like, man, you're making good money. I'm like, absolutely. But we spend most of it traveling. But it's worth it because it brings you guys stuff. It gives us, we love being on the road. We love meeting. And we've been to almost every state so far. We will be wrapping that up this year. We will hit every state by the end of this year.
Yeah,
so I think,
we even want to go to Alaska.
Yeah, even Alaska at some point. But we, not this year, in August, I think we're going to start our tour straight up from Houston all the way to Montana, the Dakotas, and then east or west all the way to Cali, down and around. So we'll be covering quite a bit of area. Trevor Pollitt, whatever happened to the 4x4 Jeep thing you picked up on the way home from the track that night? I would like to see the video of that thing playing. Yeah. So that's our Suzuki Vitara. We I don't know. It's on big wheels. It's always 4-wheel low. We're gonna do some videos with that, Trevor. It's sitting in my garage right now because we haven't been home since. We moved everything from one of our house in Puerto Rico we were renting to the new rental house, and I've slept in it one night, and I've been renting it for 3 months, 2 months. I haven't been in it in 2 months, so it's sitting there with that.
Our fish are there.
Huh?
The fish are there.
If they're still alive.
Yeah.
How many credits do you need for the remote tuning ZL1 2019? So 2019, the engine, if it's an automatic, the engine is 4 credits. The transmission is 4 additional credits. That's a total of 8. If you do the chassis control module, that's another 3. And each credit is $50 a piece. So, but you only need that on your end. I don't need it on my end. Dallas, we'll definitely meet. I'll be there, and we're gonna go to Duff's, right? Oh no, you're not in Buffalo. I'm going to Duff's in Buffalo. Those wings. Oh.
No, he just said I can't go because I'm a trader, but I've already seen the American side.
What do you mean?
That Coker, he said, you trader.
Yeah, we already been to the American side multiple times. Let's see. I see you figured out the top secret knock allowing access to the yellow garage. Yeah. You know, the top secret location of Rick's house.
Oh yeah.
Man,
It is top secret because all the way it smells out there.
it is top secret, but yeah, you get out the we got out the car at Rick's house and it just smells like flowers and all pretty. I'm like, did this dude scent the air for us? That's pretty cool. But he did clean the garage, and I'm telling you, I'm so excited for that podcast to drop because the amount of info in that is just so crazy. And I knew it would be. That's why we ended up staying an extra night just to make sure that he allowed us to film the podcast with him. And he was giving out info left and right, and I just can't be more grateful. So what happened with the stickers? So on the last trip, we decided to have the stickers mailed to Tim King's house, and they got delayed. We were there for 3 days. Extra days, and they still got delayed. So then he sent them to Texas. We went to Texas, went straight to Japan, and we didn't grab them. So we will get them as soon as we get back to Texas at some point, which will probably be in about a month. And we will start shipping out stickers as fast as we can. We just, but if we change the name of the podcast, we'll have podcast stickers too. So think of it, guys. Let me know. Full Send Syndicate. Is that what you guys want? I think it sounds kind of cool too. FSS. All right. Carbon fiber drive shaft. Oh, should I do solid bushings and offset diff bushings outside of the Carlisle? So I don't know, man, because I know they do a lot of the poly bushings and solid couplers, like in the C7s, but I just always see issues with it, and I'm okay with just maintenance. So I like to run the stock stuff. Same thing with what you got. You can run the carbon drive shaft, I think, with the stock bushings, and just change them out once a year. They're pretty simple, and yours is way easier to change than mine is. Wayne likes the name. I figured you would. All right, let's see. Bo, yeah, we are trying to be in Puerto Rico for the month of July. I would love to be home for a little bit, sit on the beach, and just kind of relax a little bit. But when there's work, and I'm not going to miss it. So we're looking for July. We'll definitely be home some point of July. Back to Jack's question. Again, thank you for the donation. Are you getting on a dyno if it's still raining up here? Weather sucks. You put the pressure. Okay, we already answered that. Sorry. But yes, we are getting on a dyno. If there's extra room, holler at me. Let me know. We'll make sure. I think the dyno is the 23rd? Friday the 23rd. Yes. And make sure you follow the daily videos, guys, because we'll be videoing a lot of the cars that we're doing, a lot of the stuff that we're doing. We just ate at a pretty awesome steakhouse in DC, so we got that.
Today and tomorrow. So
yeah, Wendy's going to spend time making sure our daily videos get caught up, so you guys can kind of see.
Rest of Tokyo, bragging rights, and our trip.
So it's what?
It's the rest of Tokyo, because I'm about halfway through that. The rest of our trip and streetcar bragging rights. They'll
Okay.
all be uploaded in the next few days.
So that's all coming in the next few days. Again, members only videos. Let me know what you guys want to learn, because I'm full swing on this. We're gonna go full send. We might as well go full send. What do you guys think that is something you want to know? And honestly, even if it's tuning questions, if you're in the member section and you want me to show you something on how I adjust a certain table or what I look for in certain things, let me know and I'll make a video on it. Because like I said, we're going to cater to that and make sure that you guys get your money's worth by far. And remember that if you do the membership, the $49.99, and you're tuning cars or something like that, that membership allows you direct access. If you need to send me a file, I've had a couple people do it already. Send me a file. Hey man, I'm having an issue with this. Can you figure it out for me? This is what I home, fix it. You know, for the guys that can't really afford to do it for them, but want to make sure their customers' cars are right, that membership allows you access to that. We are on 100% doing drag week stuff. I don't think we're going to do it this year, just because we need to make sure we focus on the YouTube channel and getting everything going and meeting as much as we can. But for sure, next year I'll go. All right, let's see here. Gary, let's see. I'm currently getting 7 pounds of boost. 20 Camaro, Maggie. I know what you got, fool. We tune it. Can I switch to 90 millimeter upper for an 80 to 85? Would like 9 to 10 pounds of boost. Thanks again. Car's running great. Let's see. You have a 90. Yeah, that should work out about right. It'd probably give you closer to the 10 pounds of boost. But yeah, you can go ahead and swap that out. Let's just make sure that we have enough fueling and stuff from there to get that. So don't get ahead of yourself on the fueling. So tuning in Chicago, like it's going to be pretty packed. I don't know if you guys saw our videos from Chicago last time. We had quite a bit of cars. We're going to be at BC Speed again. They have a dyno. The dyno is separate. Those guys got to make money too. But I think we have quite a bit of cars for that. I'm looking at, I think we're going to make it to Detroit probably the second week of June. And then Chicago will probably be the third and a half week of June. But like I said, if you follow our stuff on Instagram or Facebook, we've been updating. We've even tried to be updating it on here, you know, doing posts on YouTube to kind of show where we're at, where our next stop is, things like that. So hit us up along the way. Just try to hit us ahead of time. We're also putting out map routes so you can kind of follow and know where we're going to go and which way we're getting to different things, because we're also filling in podcasts along the way. Let's see.
Bye.
Max, it's bye for now, but we'll see you on the road for sure, right? Make sure you make time for us. Hunter Hughes, I switched to you because I felt there was power left on the table. Unfortunately, there's almost always power left on the table, and a lot of people have this whole conservative notion, and I still stand by that's bullshit. There's either efficient and making power, or there's wrong. There's no two ways about it. You could run the car a little rich, but if it's picking up more power when you add that fuel, technically that's where it wanted to be anyways. So if it's making less power, you know, add that doesn't really do anything. At a certain point, you're gonna run out of power. It's not like you're making peak power at 26 degrees and you're like, oh, if I put 30 in it, it's gonna run. No, it's probably just gonna make less power, or it's gonna blow up. But luckily we've done this enough and we've worked on it a long time that we kind of know about where these are. We do this hands-on approach. We do track and test things. We do sit on dynos for days at a time to make sure we're testing things. And we also work with other tuners to make sure that, you know, we're kind of getting a consensus from everyone. So we're not, we don't guess. Everything's... Yeah. What?
And we're always open to learning new things.
Yeah.
You learn so much along the way.
Yeah, we still learn a lot of stuff along the way. And every podcast I'm learning more too, which is an unexpected side effect. If you're interested in turbos at all, once that turbo podcast drops in the next day or two with Robert, I guarantee you, if you're into turbos at all, you will learn something on that one.
And it's a 2-hour one.
And it's 2 hours long. I'm sorry. I try to wrap this up, but like I'm not going to like half-ass getting the information. I'm going to make sure we get it all. So you'll enjoy that one for sure. Hey, Justin, a port tune with 7th. Do you want me to have 93 octane in the car and start? It has 33% E in it. So when we do the port stuff, even with any tune, you can start it on E or start it on pump gas. It doesn't really matter. Typically, if we do an E car and we're trying to make quite a bit of power, you're not going to go wide open on 93 if at all. But if you do, we can always go backwards and forwards, because once we dial it in for flex fuel, anywhere from 100%, the fueling should be dead on. If it's not, something else is not right. But once we have I think he's looking for his Cheetos. I think I set my laptop on him. Yep. Boom. All right. Sorry, I had to get him his Cheetos. All right. What's up from Michigan? What's up, Mr. Hurd? Let's see. Freshly dialed in with a Rick Gifford. With Rick Gifford S10 isn't as cool as most clients' vehicles. Just a fan from Rochester and fellow GM tech trying to learn some stuff. Well, we appreciate that. Like I said, we don't fault if you use a different tuner. That's totally cool. If he ever needs any help or has any questions or wants to share anything, we're open for that too. But as far as cool, if it makes power, it's cool. I'm not that guy. I respect anything. That's something a lot of people say. They're like, oh, my car, I know my car is not as badass as some of the other cars. Well, that just means your car's probably gonna work and not gonna have issues, and it's gonna be a little easier for us overall. So why wouldn't I favor that? Don't think like that. Puts their hard-earned money into their project, so everybody gets the same amount of service.
The weird stuff the most.
And I do like the weird stuff. I do. I literally had a Cadillac attack. I had Nick Williams say, "Hey man, you want to tune a GTO?" And I knew there was something up with it. And it was the GTO with ITBs. If you don't know what that is, that's 8 individual throttle bodies. And we got it right. It was pretty cool. Definitely weird, but Oh, he called you a traitor.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. If you've ever been to Niagara Falls, if you haven't, you should go because it's kind of cool. But the Canadian side looks better. I don't care what you say. And, it looks more fun. But I'll let you know if it's not, and we'll take you in and video it and show you.
I'm getting a bougie hotel room.
Hopefully the clunk in the Escalade isn't getting worse.
It is.
Tanner, it is. So a lot of issues, if you guys have an 8-speed truck and you're coming to a stop and you feel that 2-1 conk. So I've never really spent a whole lot of time trying to dial it out, and the TCM on my Escalade is locked still because, we're cheap. But Tanner has a truck with an 8-speed, and we've been working on it, and we were able to get rid of the 2-1 clunk. So if you have a daily and you're tired of that 2-1 hit when you come down to a stop, we can get rid of it. There is also the light throttle clunk on the upshift. We're working on that next. So thanks, Tanner, for helping us, allowing us to work with that. And when I get to Chicago, I'll be getting an unlocked TCM more than likely and fixing my Escalade because that it's rough.
You gotta get all kinds of stuff that needs some maintenance.
Ulysses West Coast. So I spoke about it, but I'll say it again. I think in August, we're going to go from Houston straight up to the Dakotas because Wendy wants to go see the mountain with the faces. Mount Rushmore. I know, but it's funny when you say mountain with the faces. We're going to go straight up through South Dakota, probably the bottom of North Dakota, because that's about all I can handle, and then straight over to Montana and all the way to Cali, down and around. So stay tuned for that. We'll be posting that up for sure. Shane, can you talk about the throttle mapping more? A lot of people never touch the throttle pedal map because of the message in HP Tuner says incompatibility with TAC module can render PCM inoperable. So that's not what I'm talking about. That table's been there for a long time. But in the, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. The issue is that we need to log that almost, I'd say probably 7 out of 10 operating systems will log the PID, but have no values. So I think there's a ticket in HP Tuners, thanks to Ryan Stevens, to get that working. Once that's working, the big issue is that when you have a throttle body and you change the bore and the blade size, right? At every step, there's a different amount of airflow. And to adjust that calculation with just one single cell is clearly not correct. So there's always been tables in the background that can to each position. I'm trying to make this the simplest way to explain. At each position, there's a calculated amount of airflow, right? So there is a table in there, which previously we were fixing it with XDFs, but somehow HP tuners got their hands on that and they've added it in there, which I think is going to do more harm than good because those changes make drastic changes. So if you are going to mess with them, be very careful, go very slow. If you don't understand what you need to log and all that, if you're part of our, membership, the $49.99 one, I can help you walk through that. But just be careful. I can't stress that enough because it is total control of the blade. But yeah, so basically you're going to go in there and put in the different measurements at each interval or at each step position, and it'll make the throttle perfectly linear, especially in the trucks where when you go half throttle, they wide open. This should fix that as well, which I am going to try to utilize that to fix another truck that I'm having an issue with cruise control. When you push cruise, it just decides to go wide open and pull you up to whatever mile an hour it likes.
What?
Yeah, it's wild. We've gotten it better, but I need to get my ass in gear and get that file out to him tonight and see if we can get that remedied, because that's actually a common issue where people are in cruise control with a trailer and they'll hit it at like, say, 56 and it'll wide open until 70. I can't imagine what that feels like, but I can tell you it's probably not good. All right, let's see. I hope that answered your question, Shane. Marcellus, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, like I said, once we do the Cali stuff, we're going to make sure to announce it a lot. I'll make sure to keep the dates. The issue with telling you guys like a day that I'll be in a certain spot, if you've ever worked on tuning a car and you've ever done it in like 2 to 3 hours, either you didn't do it right or you got really lucky. Because when you go to tune cars, I expect something to go wrong. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's what happens. So when you're going to different places and you're like the last one we just did, longtime friend, Jose, we still went all the way to his house in, where was it? In Virginia to do his V3. He's been out racing the car, but he said it feels like, it could have some more. So we go ahead and go over there to log the car. I build the file. We get everything lined out. We go to do wide open and we find out we have no fuel pressure. So we spent the extra time instead of just being like, oh, figure it out. I'll see you whenever I come back around, right? I'm not that guy. So we went through, I got covered in fuel before we went to dinner, and we found out that his auxiliary pump was coming on, but it was not actually pushing any fuel out. So he's going to get that fixed, and he's going to go up to Philly and meet me at the airport, and we're going to finish dialing the car in. So that's why I can't pick a date that I'm going to be in a certain spot, because we don't know. And if something goes wrong, I'm not going to just not fix it. I'm not going to just not try to help you walk through the issue. At least give you some kind of guidance before we move along, and then we fix it remote. I can't believe the camera is doing so well that you don't see how bad this thing's swinging. I wish I could video this, and it's doing this, and they can't see it.
Pretty cool.
So anyways, moving on. Rochester has wings just as good, if not better, than Duff's, my guy. Yet to be seen.
Is that the one we haven't been yet?
Yeah, we have.
Okay, I thought so. Is that little place?
Yep. Supposed to be the original place. Look, if you say so, Jordan, I'll be there. All you got to do is show us. Don't park under an awning.
Right here.
All right.
Do you need anything? No?
What?
So do you need anything?
No.
Great.
Andrew G, always coming in clutch, man. I appreciate the donation. Hey, man, you got any good names of people or DIY sources for wiring, including premium wire and connectors? So, are you talking about somebody to do the wiring or the wire that we would use? Because typically the wire I get is TXL. It's like an OE level wire. It doesn't melt. It's cross-link. It's very, very good. Very low resistance. I forget where I got that. WayTechWire.com. That's where I was getting it from. If you're looking at like a person for wiring, man, I don't know that I could trust too many people on that. That kind of makes me, I don't know. Wiring's a weird one. That's why I've always done it myself. Shane, can I send you an email with my members only ideas? Yeah. If you want to shoot me an email, justinwhitetuned@gmail for the members only ideas. Absolutely. I've had people send me a couple and I'm working on those videos too, but I want to make sure that these videos give you guys like a real inside look and detailed of like how to address each situation or thing. So that's what I'm trying to keep the members' videos at. Mr. Hurd, all you got to do is say something, man. We'll be in Detroit. We'll probably be there for a couple days. I'm going to do another podcast there. We're going to go meet up with my buddy Ed, who just did C8 or flex fuel on a C8, and we tuned it. So I'll be there. Just make sure you hit me up. Does the Catless make more horsepower or just switching because the high flows are dangerous? I would say it'd make a little more power, but also because the high flows blow motors up. So high flow cats are, in my opinion, a gimmick. I get it if you need it for like the smell or something like that. But at that point, you could just buy a Tesla and you wouldn't have to worry about the smell. To join the members only section, you can't do it from an iPhone for whatever reason. So if you just get on the YouTube with your laptop or you use the browser of your iPhone and you pull up our page, it has a spot to where you can join the membership and then you can pick which package you want. And if you have any issues with that, directly message me. I'll make sure to get you handled. So we appreciate all of our members. That's going to help us tremendously as we're traveling and trying to bring you guys everything. All right. How do the twin turbo C7 setups compare to 2650 on street racing? It depends on the turbo. So with the 62s, I think we did a video on a car that we made like 13 something wheel with. That car arguably hits as fast as a supercharger does. Maybe not a 1.7, but as fast as a 2650. But it also makes 1,400 horsepower. So I think turbos are absolutely the way to go, even on the street. Just because you can make so much power and the turbo technology is so advanced nowadays. It's not really much of a loss going there. The heat, make sure you route things properly, is where you'll get in trouble. With the 2 PSI port plates, what is the difference between the 1-piece and 3-piece 2650 plates? Which one should I go with? I don't remember what the difference is, but you go with the ones that match your blower. So if your blower, the 2650, if the side tanks can bolt off of it, and you'll be able to tell, you'll look at it and you'll see that there's like two big Allen bolts right there where the bricks go in. They're into the side, holding the sides onto the center section. If it has that, that's the 3-piece. If it doesn't have that, that's the 1-piece. Stock ZL1 fuel system with auxiliary fuel pump, cam, F194. What's the max horsepower? Are you talking about without port injection? Because if you're talking about without port injection, that's where you're going to be really limited. And I don't see you making more than like 750 on a decent amount of E. If you put port on it with an F194, we've made 1100. Sent you a pin. Let me know when you're going to be in my area in case I got to take some time off. Okay, will do. I'll make sure to note that. Wendy, if you're watching, make sure you note that. She went in the gas station. I'm sorry if the feed's cutting out. We're driving in a storm with Starlink. But at least we have Starlink because, it's letting us do this. My cell signal is not going to work. Off topic, level up. What airline did y'all fly for Japan trip? 650 round trip's not bad. Plan on going in December. Right. So it's called Zip Air. And they specifically fly from, I think, Houston and LA. I'm not 100% on that, but I know Houston. Zip Air, if you go book it, if you don't get the flat laying seat, you get the regular seat, which it wasn't bad. We had plenty of room. Row 18, if you want the extra leg room. It was $650 a person through Zip Air. So make sure you check that out. If you haven't been to Japan, you really got to go to Japan. Black Moon's coming back out next week. Tahoe should be ready for a tune in the next week or so. There you go. About time, Garrett. We need to get some flex fuel and like some port injection on that thing and really turn it up so you can, I know, more money, always more money. Damn, I thought you were literally on the move. Yeah, well, we still got to get up to Rochester. We still have a lot of time left. I don't even want to look again. We still have a whole lot of time left, so we want to make sure we get to Rochester by tonight so we're ready to go and kick ass on tuning by tomorrow. Excited to see how how E reacts to my Silverado. And yes, shifting on the 8-speed is now substantially better. JWT for the win. Thank you, man. Thank you, Tanner, for sticking with us and giving us another shot. We had some issues the first time getting his tune handled because of me and just being busy. So he gave us another shot, and hopefully we're making him happy this time. My C7 2014 Z51 manual is multiple misfire trim. What could that be, Corvette owners? Man, there's so many different things. If it's missing mostly at idle but not under throttle, it's probably an injector. But man, there's so many issues. You'd have to get a log it, find out what cylinder, and kind of walk through that process. Hunter, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. All donations are greatly appreciated. I hope to get my car dialed in. We get Detroit. Hopefully we can get old girl to sound a little rowdier. Yeah, look, if you want some more chop, we can always put in a little more chop. But we'll be in Detroit. We're also going to meet up with Steven, hopefully, and go ahead and get everybody taken care of. Y'all got to show me some cool stuff in Detroit while we're there. Marcellus, thanks again, man. Just jokes, Cleveland related, but did you and the Dodgers pitcher Landon Knack resemble? Oh, I don't look like nobody, man. Come on. I'm going to have to go look, though. Damn it. Watch him be spot on. Uh-oh. We could tell who doesn't watch my live because he's calling me. Brett, you're supposed to be a supporter, bro. Anyways, the Brett podcast is coming up. I'm going to have to unfortunately not answer. But if he was on my live, he could just ask me the question on live. Mug, calm down before I come back there and put hands on you. I'm just kidding. Don't hurt me. Have you ever run into ABS module issues after big cam and PCV delete with 10 amp valve car breathers V2? No, because I've run bigger breathers than that on a V2 and I've never had any issues. So if you define the module issue a little better, that may help. Let's see.
I got you, bud. I see.
Trying to go through this question one more time.
Oh, and look what else I got.
Andrew G, you said either. So Waytech wire is what I would suggest. TXL, you could do the thicker wire, but I like the TXL because it flows the best. It has the least resistance. It's a very good wire. You can hit it with a lighter. It won't just melt right off like the parts store shit does. So make sure you go with that. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You winning the kids is awesome. We're trying, man. We really are. It's definitely different. If you've never had to film your entire life, it's a learning thing. So we appreciate that, man. Thank you. Did you notice if the DSX pumps require over a quarter tank of fuel to run properly? They shouldn't because they pick up at the back of the tank. So I don't see why they would. Junior, we're going to be in Rochester by tonight. We're going to meet the group there tomorrow. You can shoot me a message. I just need to okay it with them because, I'm down to meet anybody, but I don't want to just bring people to somebody else's place if they don't know each other and, be weird like that. So worst case, we'd come meet you if not, and we're coming back through. But hit me up tomorrow and I'll make sure because they may not care and we could all go to the diner together. What can I do to my Corvette C7 2014 manual Stingray to beat an M340i with a downpipe and tune? I mean, that would do it. Turbo. Wendy says turbos. Just throw some nitrous on it.
And it's a manual, so why not?
Put some nitrous on it. Don't be scared. Everybody's scared of nitrous nowadays. It's easy. Larry with the $100 donation. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for hooking mine up late. Look, man. We don't mind. Look, I may not be the most punctual, but I make sure that when we're working and we're tuning that we are on point and we get everything handled as best as possible. Appreciate the donation, Junior. It means a lot to us. But hit me up. Let me know. I'm sure they won't mind. I need to okay it with them because they planned this like 2 or 3 months ago. Oh, yeah. And they've been waiting quite a while, so I want to make sure that while I'm there, I give them my undivided attention and we get their cars running the way they're supposed to be running. Yeah, the Pray podcast, I think it went pretty good. I feel like I could have been a little more prepared, and for that, we'll end up doing a part 2 or another podcast a little later with it. But there's definitely some good stuff in there, and definitely I think the best way to approach who he really is versus the stuff that you see online. Max Out Lawyer, as always. Thank you, man. We appreciate the support. Hopefully we're helping you kind of learn some things and kind of getting you going. I know you got your cars out there kicking ass, so it's time to kick a little more ass and go fast. Miss Wendy's. All right, I think we're back. Hold on. All right, we're back. Blame Wendy. She's driving crazy. All right. Amazing what you guys do with traveling. Can't wait to get my car dialed in by you. Be safe out there. Thank you, Scott. And thank you for being patient with us. I think you're out in Indy, so we're coming through there. And this time hopefully we'll be able to stop in Indy. We didn't get to stop last time, so we'll definitely make sure to do that. Plus, I think he's got a whole pallet of Celsius. A pallet.
Like that flavor.
It's probably like mango lemonade, but whatever.
Oh, us. Yeah, we do have one.
No, he does.
Oh, he does too?
Yeah.
Well, I already have mango lemonade in the bag.
All right.
Just sitting there.
Is there a way in HP Tuners to copy and paste the X and Y axis between a file and a comparison? Yeah, you have to click the actual axis, and then you can highlight the whole table when it comes up to modify it, and then go to the old one, copy, the new one, paste. So you have to do the axis individually. I don't think there's like just a copy paste whole deal anymore like there used to be. What do you recommend for the torque tube rebuild? Might be a little late to ask. I ended up buying the RPM trans rebuild kit and bushing, or is the built one better? I haven't seen their rebuild kit. I usually change all the bushings and bearings, and then I go back with stock Z06 couplers. That's just been my best luck because I don't mind doing the maintenance once a year or whatever I need to do to make sure it stays together. I just don't like all the vibration, the clanking, and all that. If I was building a track-only car or something that I don't ever drive, I would just go full solid. Don't worry about it anymore. That should be about right.
Are you gonna make those talking about?
No. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, make sure to move over to YouTube. Tuned in with JWT. Soon to be Full Send Syndicate. Soon to be. I'm waiting for you guys to tell me what you think. I need to know if this name's going to work or not. I don't want to confuse everybody. So make sure you move over here, like, share, follow, do. And then we're going to keep blowing this up. We've got a lot more coming. Larry, well, it's dead on. I appreciate it, and we appreciate you, man. Thank you. I thought your name was Babe. It says Baba. I got it, but I thought it said Babe for a second. I was like, oh. Anyways, I've been trying to fix this so I can finish my tune. Currently trying to swap the ABS module from 11 coupe to 09 sedan. The issue is parking light. ABS light comes on. Back brakes drag while driving. Also, no brakes. Takes a long time to stop while driving. Are there any codes or anything like that? You can hit me off on the side after this as well. I haven't really had a lot of issues with the ABS modules, but they are getting to be older vehicles, so it's very, very common. Or common to have issues. Z07AF, what's up, man? Thank you for the donation. What would be the best channel to monitor? Oh, come on. What would be the best channel to monitor for my little intake filter experiment? Dude, if you don't stop messing with that car, I swear to God. Realistically, I would look at intake, the supercharger inlet pressure, the mass air airflow, and try to compare those two, because one of them, the inlet pressure on the supercharger, is going to show you if there's a restriction, right? Because you'll start building vacuum. So as you change it, if you're building more vacuum, you know that there's a restriction on that end. But mass air will show you, the hertz and how much is flowing.
I just want you to take a second look at your son playing with his Corvettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it'll turn to him.
Fury back there with the Corvettes.
He got a C6 and a C7 now.
He's trying to decide.
No, Mom gives him all the things. One of each.
What's up, Alfredo? When are we getting that car going, man? Alfredo's building a literal monster, Motec controlled monster. So I'm super. He's watermelon Celsius.
I like watermelon.
It's watermelon and it's yeah, man, just hit me up after. Like I said, either tonight or tomorrow, either way, and I'll see what I can do to help you figure that out. Josh says FSS sounds a lot like NSS. I like it.
That's why you like it, I bet.
That wasn't that. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even relate the two.
I know, but that's funny.
It's funny you picked that up, Josh. Should I add fuel pressure along wideband for HV tuner Pro cable for when you do my tune because my setup doesn't have fuel pressure? Yes, 100% yes. If you can do that, Canyon, I really appreciate it. It would, and then we can set up a bunch of safeties based off that as well. So definitely a good idea. Any guesses? 160 to 130 when we finish my car. Currently 86 best time. Shitty ass TA. Shitty Arizona DA. Zene. Yeah, you're confusing boosted cars times.
No, I'm not.
Anyways, I don't know, but I know it will be better than it was. I'll make sure of that. So.
What's wrong, bud? What's wrong?
Alfredo with the $100. Thanks, man. But for real, what are we doing with this car? When is it getting done? I'm excited. Bugger, what you doing, bud? Oh, you cheated? Oh, your car. There we go. Oh, he dropped the C7. What does that mean? But he wanted it back. So technically that's a good thing. All right. What would you say too much horsepower is for an LS2 aluminum fully built? A lot of that's going to depend on power adder. So if you're talking like turbos, I'd say about 1,000. Centrifugal, right around 1,000. With a PD blower, I'd try to stay around the 700-800 mark. I wouldn't really push much more than that because those rods are going to leave the chat. Larry, I don't know if you caught what we said on the stickers, but as soon as we get back to Texas, we will have them and we will start shipping them out. And then if you guys give me some ideas and say that you like the name or don't like the name, once we change it, we'll make decals for that. Wait, so don't get JWT stickers since the name is switching? The tuning name isn't switching. It's still Justin White Tuned. We just want the podcast to be its own group so everybody can be part of it, right? So you don't have to be tuned by us to be part of our group for, podcasting and, talking to other tuners. We like to talk to other tuners and, they're not going to want to wear Justin White Tuned on their stuff. Some might, but some might not.
So double the stickers.
So double the stickers. Yeah, we'll get 2 stickers. That means 50 horsepower instead of the 25 horsepower the JWT sticker gives you. Bro, calm it down before I come back there. All is said and done, the E-Ray will be the car people slept on. Yes, I really do. I can't wait to get my hands on one because I know that it's a platform and it's going to do some crazy stuff. It is pretty expensive. All right. Max Out says he likes full send Syndicate, so that's 1 vote. Well, on top of Wayne and Bo.
So we got 3.
That's 3. So we haven't seen any negative, so let me know if there's negative too. I won't be mad, but I just want to know. What would you say those two can handle just the aluminum block? I've never really had a lot of issues with aluminum blocks. Other than like the LSA, if you get a non-concentric bore, non-concentric sleeve. Outside of that, I'd say the aluminum blocks are usually pretty good up to about 1,400 consistently. As long as you have good parts in it. Not the LS2 itself. Do it too next week. Hell yeah, I'll be there. No, he's got a car 7, so it's weird to call that. No, he's. Oh, come on! I get it. I can't blame you for that. You've been busy with his 911 Turbo S. Yeah, Wendy's gonna want one of those one day.
I'm gonna get one. There's no one about it. I'm getting something.
She already has cars. Currently, it's the same as before. With you, know what issue we had, so I'm gonna hold you to it. No problem. Hold me to it. We'll get there. I think my car's almost ready to come back to you. I've been debating on meth or air to water. Both. Settles that debate. Both of them. YSI V7 with mall pistons and TSP super I-beam rods. Callie's crank. I just don't want to break the block or lift the heads. I mean, that's all usually tune related. As long as you watch your temps and you monitor everything, you shouldn't have an issue with that at all. Bowens Motorsports, like what y'all are doing. Hope all is well. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We're hopefully doing a great thing, doing what people want, and we follow our likes and subscribes and things like that, and that kind of tells us which direction we're gonna go. I'm gonna still try to keep this live to every other Wednesday. Just that way, kind of as we're doing these different things, you're watching our dailies. If you have questions and stuff along the way, we convene every other Wednesday and kind of do a little discuss. All right. What up, Ed? Ed said, "What's up?"
What up, dog?
Huh?
I said, what up, dog?
Yeah. Now Wendy keeps using the "you got your dogs out"
Every time.
thing.
It bothers you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't call feet dogs. That's weird.
My dogs are hurting. That's what we said.
All right. Man, of course, I missed the live all the way up to this point. Been waiting for these. I'm sorry, man. We try to post on a Monday and a Tuesday that we're going to do the live, and like 45 minutes before the live.
Posting we're doing.
Yeah, it's just there. You got to think, like, if you haven't done any of this, like YouTube filming, stuff like that, dude, it's a lot, especially while we're tuning and traveling and driving and trying to make sure we bring you guys everything. But if it's helping, it's helping. We like it. We'll keep doing it. But Bilal, if you have any questions or you think you may have missed something, we can go right through it real quick. Nick Diaz, I saw that. I will make sure I get it tonight. Before I go to sleep in the hotel, I will go through that log for you, man. So E85 or meth, stock from the heads down. Both of them. I'm going to say it again. Both of them. Wayne said the V3 coming back out. It better. And it better go way faster.
I'm ready.
Which I'm sure it will, because it's going to have Motec too, which is going to be sick. These Motec LT cars are going to be running the game. I can see it now. Brian, I'm coming back home on the 27th. On the 27th, so I can make it to Muscle Mania on the 31st, and then back here on the 2nd. Ed said the dogs are barking.
They are, man. I'll be using that too.
Thanks, Ed. I appreciate that. Not at all. Is there a big difference, ported MSD versus non-ported on C7 in a no cam? I don't know. I don't think I've seen much of a difference, but I mean, as I've learned while talking to Rick, there's an opportunity for more flow, so you go ahead and do it. That being said, we are going to swap from 1 7/8 headers to 2-inch tri-Y headers on my C7. And because I believe we've actually run into the limit of the BTR Stage 1 cam on my car, because we made 1250 or right at 1250 before the porta blower. The porta blower added 4 pounds of boost, and we still made 1250. I think we've just run to the limit of what that cam can do. So Rick has cut us a custom cam, and I'll be getting that, putting that in the C7, and shooting for 1300 plus with the rod and piston stock LT1.
Well, I can't reach it.
Should be pretty wicked. So we'll see. We got a lot for that coming up. I used to do a gaming channel back in the day. Hey, y'all be a little quieter.
I can't
Just a hair.
and I'm trying not to get us right.
He wants his ass beat.
He's wanting something specific. What is it, buddy? What is it? Car? Did you drive your car? Cheetos? His drink? Cheetos?
Here.
Does he need another snack? You want oatmeal cream pie?
I don't know. Sorry. Got to deal with that. I used to do a gaming channel back in the day, and I do some media things for Car Page. I completely get it. Yeah, this is way harder than it looks. We're trying to make it simpler, though. These Osmos seem to be pretty cool because their autofocus good, their picture's really good. And if you didn't know how long these could record, I recorded one 4 hours straight on the battery in 4K 60 and had 0 issues with it. So I'd say so far, as long as you get a good memory card, they work great. We did get a PNY memory card, and it shit the bed right away. So don't do that. Stick to SanDisk.
Yeah, and this podcast, just so they know, this podcast with Rick has cost me more than our channel has so
What?
far. this podcast with Rick
Why?
cost me more than this.
Why?
Because you got a cam, and now you need headers, and now you need all this other shit.
Yeah, that's true. Rick cost me a lot of money.
I'm at like $2
To the
grand.
tune of like at least $2,000. And that's just for some headers and a cam. But if it gets us more power and allows us more opportunity, we're going to go for it. Because, I mean, of course we need to go faster. I second Ed, non-ported MSD and an LT4 blower. Yep, that's where I'd go. Motec's just a phone call away. Phone call away. If you have to factor in cooling potential of the 2650, would that be a better choice than a ported Kong Export LT4 for a 1,000 horsepower build? I get this one a lot, and the Rick podcast actually covers this as well. We spoke about the two different ways and the potential and things like that. I don't know. If you're doing it for like daily stuff, roll racing, the 2650 just gets there easier. The LT4, it's more so you could be like, I've got an LT4 blower, but I can still be a cool guy and go fast. So you're definitely pushing things a lot harder when you're trying to do it with an LT4 blower. Junior, I said, I love that you have the little ones always around. Wish I had that growing up. I wish that my family was into cars and kind of had me around too, but unfortunately they didn't. But we like to have the kids with us because we want to show them the world. We want to show them the country. They get to be a part of this growing up. And I think it's going to be very beneficial to them in life. And hopefully they start learning new languages. And so, yeah, we like to involve the kids because there's no sense in having a job where I can't see my family. I just never wanted that.
Kids are our life.
Ed said, bro, I want an oatmeal cream pie.
I'll save you one, buddy.
What's up, Taylor? And as Ed said, do a 2650 if you can. Like I said, the 1.7 thing is just more to kind of see if push something that shouldn't do what it's doing, right? And if you're doing like just 8 mile, like no prep stuff or grudge racing stuff, I favor the 1.7, but 2650 is always going to be more potential and more opportunity. That's going to be my new word, opportunity. I'm stealing that from Rick. Thanks, Joseph, for responding to me today with a tune, and I'll send you an email because I have questions about the changes. Not a problem. Ask whatever you need. We'll walk through it. Let's see. Ralph, got to hang out with you and the fam Friday night at the Rock. Thank you for being the same person you are on these videos. Great, especially now trying to figure out which CC to use for port injection for the Yukon. Yeah, it was good meeting you too, Ralph. And man, that truck sounds wicked. But
it'll be in my video, guys.
But as Ralph can attest, we are the same people on these videos as we are in person. We might be a little more wild in person, but you're going to get the same energy. You don't get no bullshit. Appreciate it, Ulysses. FSS for podcast name is fire. I think that's where we're going to go with it. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were all on board with it and that you didn't go, oh my God, what happened? Now you know. Joseph, steaks tomorrow night. I'm in. Because the last 2 steak places were
fine. They were good.
They were okay. They weren't my steaks, but they were pretty good. What?
Tell him to be prepared that you're going to complain that it's not your steak the whole time.
It's different. Though, if that last one didn't have that charcoal flavor, I'd have been good.
God.
Like, not good charcoal flavor. We're talking like burnt charcoal flavor. Don't let her cap. When will you be in Nebraska, roughly? Ice cream cruise. We plan to try to go to ice cream cruise this year. Probably going to just have Wendy's car, but that's our plans. I've gotten into buying cars that need some work, getting them back to good health and selling them. Sometimes I run into some issues that I could use a build consultation. Look it up. We got you, man. We'll take care of that. Let me borrow 2650, see if it fits the ATSP. You could do that, but mine won't fit yours because I have a Corvette short snout. So you got to find a Camaro one. For the Pro Chargers, the Pro Charger on the Camaro seems to work really well. Pro Chargers on a Vet don't work worth the shit. And I know, fight me, okay? They work until the belt comes off and then you're on the side of the road. I don't like it. I guess I'm just too bougie to stand on the side of the road in my Corvette. Taylor Hoda, yes, I am testing out a new cam. Like I said, I feel like we've found the limits of the BTR1. So, I mean, 1,250 wheels, so it's not like we could be mad at it. But yes, I got a new cam being cut from Rick Crawford, and hopefully it unleashes some more power. I don't know that LMR would want to do a podcast with me because I'd have to question their 1,300 horsepower Blackwings that hook from a 40 roll.
Every video they have.
And every video that I literally feel like they're just shit. I don't even know. I don't know how you can misquote all of your power numbers by hundreds of horsepower and still claim them, like, and still post that on the internet. Like, I know Steven's got to be better than that. Like, I don't know if he's just like, he likes crank horsepower, which means that he measures from under the sack. If you catch my drift, I'm just not a measuring from under the sack kind of guy. Like, we're going from the base up. There's an oatmeal cream pie?
In that bag.
So yeah, I'm sure he's not gonna like my take on that. So I don't know, but we'll see. If he's down, I'm down. I'm not scared. Okay, I see. Okay, thanks. By the way, SanDisk or Samsung are great SD cards. Make sure you get the correct class. I'd settle for either U3 or V30, new standard for 4. That's what I did. I have I have 2 SanDisk and a Samsung card. Like I said, the PNY shit the bed right away. So, and they're all V30 and they seem to be working really well. That's what's in this camera right now, actually. Hey, about to go to a vet.
Like a Corvette?
Like a Corvette?
Corvette? Oh my God.
If I had the choice, I would take you guys to a better steak place. Hard to get into. Don't backpedal. It's okay.
Tell my celebrities in town.
If the steak's good, say celebrity. Get out of here.
George Clooney, not me.
Yeah, just make up that. Remember, somebody said I look like a Dodgers baseball guy. Let's use that guy's name. Just say I'm him. You never know. All right, let's see. Best way to cool a Pro Charger off. The 1,400 horsepower air-to-air isn't cutting it. 1,400 horsepower air-to-air just is shit anyways with the Pro Charger. So you're going to have to do an air-to-water. There's no way around it with the Pro Charger stuff. But you could also add a lot of meth. Meth will do it as well. Full send with JWT literally is the same thing as tuned in with JWT. Which is the issue of trying to, I'd like to associate this podcast so everybody can be part of it and not have to be tied to our tuning name so we can have it as separate entities. If that makes sense.
Yes, so I'm keeping it as yes vote.
Yes, we're locking in your yes vote, Wayne. Too bad. How has the 2016 2500 HD truck cruise control going? So we got it better, but I haven't fixed it all the way. But I am determined and we will fix it. So I'm sending him another revision tonight because I was supposed to do it yesterday and I just got tied up. So I'll get him one tonight, and then we'll see how that goes. Yeah, yes, Ed. I think LMR measures from the tailbone. It's got to, dude. Because, like, I don't know, dude. All these 1,300 horsepower cars that run 5s and 6s, like, dude, there's no way in hell you'll ever catch me posting a 5 or 6 second draggy with anything that makes 1,000 or more. And if I am, y'all better clown me and drag me for it. We're about to see LMR number off Brad's car. I think we met, through Brad, through his, through LMR posting his car. I think it ran like I don't know, a 4 or 5, high 4, low 5, something like that. But it's all right. We're gonna drop that shit into the 3s, and we'll post it again where it's supposed to be. All right. The shit talk is unmatched. Love it. Look, it's not shit talk if it's real. And if you don't like it and they don't like it, look, I will add you on here. We can discuss these gush because those times just ain't adding up, bud. Math ain't mathin'. Dripping wet. All you gotta do is say something, man. I wish we could have talked at the track. I saw you. It looks good as shit. And it sounded good. So holler at me. I'm down to help. I have no problem with that.
I know I should have bought a shirt from him.
Oh, Nathan Griffith, LMR Pocket. Nathan knows LMR. Look, Nathan funded their shop. Between him and Tracy, they probably paid for that whole shop. Port injection and meth on the way. Look, now we talking. Now we talking. Justin Mitchell got a pretty sick little ZL1. Little sleeper car. But it did almost kill me because he said he had 16 pounds of air in the tires. I don't believe you. That shit changed the lane real quick. I'm about to go to a C6. What's the best build? Z06 or Grand Sport? Man, 6 has the lighter frame, and it comes with a big motor. So it's really hard to argue with that car. Dimes S404. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Make sure y'all get the garbage plate to eat tomorrow in Rochester. The garbage plate? Don't set me up, bro.
You don't have to elaborate.
Yeah. You got to say more than that. Marcellus, FSS is dope. I'm in. There we go. All right, there's another one. When is the podcast with Rick going to drop? Y'all going to have to wait on that one. And if you're not part of our membership, you're going to have to wait even longer. Just remember that. I just love the sound of the Cam Pro Charge Vet, but I can't be on the side of the road in a Vet. Agreed. See what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Every time I go to tune one, I'm like, you got extra belts and you have tools to change a belt? Well, no. Go get it because we're going to be on the side of the road. It's going to make cool power for quite a while. And then it's going to throw the belt. We're going to be on the side of the road. And that's just not a good look for anyone. Measuring from the sack is diabolical. No, the tailbone. I'm telling you, if you look at them horsepower numbers, that just math ain't math, man. It's so far off. Methanol is like the Frank's Red Hot. We put that shit on everything. NA or boosted. Exactly. There you go, Jerry. There we go. I already clown and drag you. I know, McKinley, because you're a bully. How does it make you feel? Is that where you want to be when Jesus comes home? Making fun of poor little Justin White? 167. When will you be in Texas around the Dallas area? We will be in the Dallas area the end of June, early July. Again, depends. Things happen. Wendy's like, I'm going home. What's up, John? Justin Mitchell, decals and merch. Look, the merch, we have the website, justinwhitetune.shop is the merch. And with the name change of Full Speed Syndicate, we will start working on some merch for that. If you guys have ideas, put them in the comments. But the decals are in Texas. So once we get there, we'll send it. Yeah, if anybody is a graphic designer or knows a graphic designer and wants to work with us, make a little money and help us design something cool, make sure to let us know, please.
Love to support people who support us.
Yep. We're down to share business.
Here, Bubby, you want more?
What's the fastest car 6130 that you have tuned? You don't have to be specific. So far that I've seen was a 3.3 6130 out of my own car and a 2.9 100 to 150 in that stock LT4 car with the twins on it. And that's because Wendy's car hasn't been run 6130 or 100 to 150 yet. So we'll see. She says she's going to beat it. DM me your address. We'll send a great care package. Oh, don't tease me. Appreciate the support. Dripping wet.
I know. I saw that.
Wendy said she's going to send you a message. Yeah, man, we were so all over the place for that event. We were running forth and back and forth trying to get everybody tuned up and running their best. So Ralph Radford, FSS, thumbs up. There's another one. Nate, I need the sauce of a certain ZL1 that would be a fun race. I mean, you got a ZL1. Why don't you try it out with that? Oh, there we go, Taylor. Thank you. Even though you should have been a member earlier. But it's okay. That's okay. The garbage plate is a Rochester, New York classic dish, typically consisting of a burger patties, macaroni salad, home fries or French fries, and meat sauce. What's a macaroni salad?
You ain't gonna like that. You ain't gonna like a macaroni.
Wendy said I'm not going to like the macaroni salad. Get it? Jason Lowers, Chicago. We will be in Chicago second or third week of June, back at BC Speed. Sooner than later, and we'll set everybody up. But we'll probably be there quite a few days. If you get a build consultation, would you help me go over it? Yeah. So the build consultations are pretty much for whatever. It gets you, depending on how you book it, an hour of whatever you want to discuss. No holds barred, full send, if you will. Whatever questions you have, right? It's just a way for you to ask questions without having to be like, oh man, I'm not sure if he's going to answer it. If it's really something that I don't want to answer, I'm just going to tell you I don't want to answer. I'll never steer anybody wrong. But also, if you sign up for the $49.99 members deal, that also gets you, pretty much unlimited questions, right? So that's a kind of a cheaper way to get around it if you have questions over time versus just individual build consultations. Just an idea. Nowadays, you can use Canva, ChatGPT, or Midjourney to create some cool logos. I know, but if we have somebody that already does it and they're already on our channel or a fan of our channel or something, we'd like to spread the business to them as well. So I know there's easier ways, but we try to go a little above and beyond if we can. Are you going to make it up to Minnesota? I want to go to Minnesota. Well, technically, I got a text today that we got a Mustang from Dan.
Oh, he's going to get it?
Yeah, so we have to go to Minnesota to get it. We are Dan Deckard from the Monoxide podcast is setting us up with a Fox body. I don't know with it, but a ninth car.
Let's ask him.
I blame her.
Let's take a vote. So
hold on, let me get this off. Go ahead.
Okay, so we have our Mustang that we have in Puerto Rico that we were going to build into a drag car for Puerto Rico. So I was curious how y'all feel about these burnout events that they have too. Do y'all like these burnout events? Because I would like to have a burnout car too. I kind of want to have one of everything, if y'all haven't noticed. A little bit of everything. Yeah. So how do y'all feel about the burnout stuff? Because I do a nasty burnout.
All right.
Also, how expensive is that on tires? Because I know it's going to be a lot.
Well, it depends. You get a sponsor for tires, right? I don't know.
Celsius and what tire company?
I don't know. Whatever tires can go in a car.
Thompson, give me a call.
There we go. Look, Matt knows Mickey. Ed knows Mickey. I know you do. We filmed in the Mickey Thompson trailer.
I know.
So, anyways, what do you guys think about that? Doing a burnout vehicle. But like I said, if you're not part of the Monoxide podcast, make sure you go check those guys out. We get to hang out with them at the track too. Love those guys. Harris and Dan have got something really cool going. But with all that said, yes, Minnesota is where the car is, so we have to go there regardless. Because he's probably not going to bring it to me. He's going to make me go to Minnesota.
Well, we wanted to go to Minnesota anyways for something. They have some event coming up in Minnesota. Some kind of...
I don't know. What events they have coming up in Minnesota? Let us know.
Yeah, there was an event coming up.
You got to let me know when y'all are back in Mississippi. We have 3 to 4 cars that will go to the track ready to get these trans dialed in. Taylor, I will let you know. And, we come there quite often, so we'll make sure to get it done. All right. Hey, bro, I'm going port on June 6th, but I'm getting ready to cam, and I got a 945 because I couldn't find a 95, but kept stock upper until port comes in. How much boost are we looking at? It really depends, man, but it's definitely not as much as an upper would have gotten you. So you'll be fine. He says you can get baked beans instead of macaroni salad. Now we're talking. There we go.
What do you think?
He can get baked beans instead of macaroni salad.
Okay, that works.
Yes, I'm getting off these exits.
I don't have a choice.
Why are we off the exit?
This is the way to go.
Oh.
This is the route.
Hold on. All right. 4 Race made one for us, and G2K Racing does great work. Boosted Creations in Michigan, also great work. What is he saying? They made us one what? A burnout car?
Maybe.
Yeah, fill us in. What are you talking about? What'd they make you? Burnt, dripping wet? I like the name, by the way. Is there a podcast with Merkel coming since y'all are going to Canada? I would love to do a podcast with Merkel, but unfortunately, he lives on the other side of Canada. So when he comes to the States, I will go find him and we will do that. But there is one with Go Hard podcast with Merkel. It should be already posted up.
I'm fixing it.
Hey.
I'm fixing it, homie.
Chill out, bro.
Is that better?
He said burnout's pretty gay. I guess.
But how many drag cars do y'all want me to have at this point?
Yeah, I mean, if we have like 9 drag cars, that doesn't really make sense. Wendy, come drive the C6.
I already said I would.
The Australians got the burnouts game down. Right. We just want to kind of, join them and go party and have fun and do burnouts too.
It's a big thing right now, I feel like. Slap a huge sticker on it.
Chris R. Curious who makes the 2-inch tri-Y header. Believe it or not, Hooker Blackheart. They make a 2-inch tri-Y. That's the one that Rick had sent me. So that's what we're going with. I think they're about $1,400. So I blame Rick for that. Because he made fun of my inch and 7/8 headers I've been having. Which is probably rightfully so. But if anybody needs some inch 7/8 American Racing headers and Y pipe, I have some for sale. And a BTR Stage 1 cam coming up. What do you think about Driven Racing GP1 oil? I think it's a great oil. I love Driven's oils. Unfortunately, I'm not sponsored by them, and I cannot afford it, so I run VR1. That's the only reason. Design shirt designs. Oh, cool. Well, hit me up. When we talk, we'll work something out. Well, maybe do tune shirt designs, work something out. We'll get it together.
What difference?
Yeah, John. Definitely hold off on the upper until we get the port on there. What?
The lights on it. It's really weird.
All right. An LS9 or LT4 drag Mustang would be pretty cool. Or would it be cooler to put a Coyote in it?
But we have 2 Mustangs.
I hate to be that guy because we do have 2 Mustangs. And it may be cheaper to do an LT or LS motor in the one in Puerto Rico. So for the Mustang here, should we go Coyote? Because I'd like to get into the aftermarket standalone Coyote tuning because I do respect the motor and I think it makes pretty good power. And I have a Dylan Merkel that will help me with it. So I don't know. Do we do Coyote or do we do LSLT in both of them? I'm obsessed with Camaros, but they don't seem to perform well in the street car videos. Why is that? I think it's a lot of it to do with improper setup, getting the suspension right, getting all that right. A vet is a lot easier to do like a roll with, but we've absolutely been 3s with the, with the Camaros as well. So I think a lot of people are building like a ZL1 1LE for roll racing, which is arguably the absolute worst car for roll racing, in my opinion. It looks the best. Oh, don't zoom in. Don't do that. Whoa. All right. Anyways, it looks the best, but the amount of drag it has is not a good idea. Okay, we're definitely never going to agree there. An old school LT1 build or small block Chevy with a 10-speed. It's not going to happen. I'm not doing that. What should I not do when I go pick up from the V3 when it's done with the cam? And should I wait until you send me a tune before driving it? Let me know. I'll get you a tune ahead of time. That way you already have it when you go to pick it up. But you should not go do burnouts with it or make any pulls. We need to do that. Podcast with Max Effort. I'm not against that. I actually worked with him on a flex fuel for a Global B car. And I'd like that. I'd like to pick his brain anyways. If he's down for that, I'll reach out to him and see what he says. Like I said, I'm not against it at all. Road course cars. So there is a guy that we did some tuning for a road course car. He's in Detroit, and I'm going to try to reach out to him and do some videos with him while we're there. So there is road course content coming up. We've been dealing with Griffin Motorsports. He makes some really awesome, like a whole front open radiator, like radiator support that opens up the whole grill on the ZL1. One that you can remove the metal panel out of the ZL1 hood and it braces to keep the carbon floating. He makes a lot of cooling products, and we did a road course in a customer's car, or had a customer do a road course with his cooling setup, and it never got over like 125, just beating the crap out of it for long rounds. So we're into the road course stuff too. If it goes fast, we like it. What would you do with a Pontiac G8 given the chance, or would you at all? I'd sell it because they're entirely overvalued, and I'd buy something like another vet. I'm just going to be honest. Look, I'm never going to lie to you. I'm not a G8 fan, but, I like the Caprices because they make sense, because they're priced accordingly. So a tri-Y header is instead of going all 4 down to a single merge, you take 2 of the pipes, so like 1 and 5, and then 3 and 7, and you put those together, and then they go together to a Y, right? 2 to 2, and then those 2 go 2 to 1 to the collector. So it's just a better design, and it seems to make better power. Is a stock blower, stock block CTS V2 worth the trouble to make go 950? It depends on what you mean by the trouble, because upper 85 and injectors, we've been 990, so it's really not that much trouble to go a little faster. Yeah, he definitely does a lot of grudge stuff, but, you know, if he'll talk, he'll talk. I don't care. I'm here to bring out the info for you guys. I got the stage 2 Gen 5 cam. How much power should I be making with the cam and lower and low side? I don't know. I don't like quoting power, man. It's just not my thing, because every dyno's a little different. Every setup's a little different. And if I'm off, people get upset. 8 to 4 to 1. Yeah, I saw those, but I'm trying to make power, usable power. I'm not trying to just make it sound cool. But we are thinking about doing some zoomies. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, last call for you guys. Wayne, that's not nice. Last call for you guys. Anybody on Facebook or Instagram, if you haven't, gone over to Tuned In with JWT, soon to be Full Send Syndicate, make sure you get over here, like, subscribe, do the thing, ask the questions that you want. I'm going to give it another few minutes. We've been here an hour and 36 minutes already. Get over here, ask the questions, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this night up. Did you say upper 85 injectors 990 on 15 stock suspension? Yes, on 15s and on stock suspension 990. That was like back in 2016. So I can only imagine what we could probably do nowadays, given that things have changed quite a bit. But yes, stock long block too. That's what I want. C6 is for road course. Road course works good. You just, you go through a lot more tires. You do a lot more heat. So just make sure you take all that into account. I don't have any other questions. Y'all just have a safe trip. No problem, man. Like I said, I'll give it another minute or two. Let everybody if anybody else has anything. We appreciate everybody that was on here, that took the time to kind of get here. I know it's, Wednesday night. You had something better to do. Like I said, hopefully I get a lot for you guys out there coming up. Just make sure that you get in that member section so you get to see it first. I missed the GP1 review. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what that is. Nate, I will see you soon as soon as we get to Dallas.
I'll be ready to drive my car.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. We're going to continue this drive up to Rochester. Make sure you follow our daily videos. Make sure that you keep up with what we're doing. Share this to people. Tell people about it. Give us some good comments. Let us know what you guys want to see, what you want member videos on, what you want regular videos on. We'll keep the daily stuff coming. We've got some killer podcasts coming out. Until then, that's it. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with us tonight. What?
The oil review is what it's asking.
Oh, what?
Before you hang up.
I didn't see it. Oh, driven oil, good but expensive.
GP1 is the oil.
Oh, I didn't do a review on it.
He likes it a lot. We just can't afford it. That's why we don't use it.
I like it. It's just expensive. It costs a lot more, and it's harder to get than VR1. Yeah, I ran it in Wendy's car before. So it's the green oil from Pennsylvania. So it's good stuff. Should I just stick with the vet intake for my SS if I'm not going to cam it, or go with the MSD? I don't know. The MSD is going to flow more, so that's more opportunity. So I'd probably go with that. Yeah, driven racing brand oil. That's what I meant. Sorry. I didn't do a review on it, but I do like it. VR1 I can get. It's easy. I've run it forever, and it works great. So, we're good? All right. We're signing off. If you have any questions, like I said, hit us in the inbox. And, we'll go from there. I appreciate it, as always. And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. The Wednesday after next. Peace.